This is for an owner whose carb conversion I'm getting ready to pull off of my car and box up. Every carb conversion gets test driven on my car first. But it's about the throttle cable and how to correctly install the throttle cable. And in her case, the shift point cable as well. She has an automatic, so she has two cables. But there have been a couple of owners who have installed this cable incorrectly. And this is what's going to come off of your K-Jet throttle spool. You're going to have the outer sheath. You're going to have the inner cable. This is what the accelerator pedal moves. And then there's this threaded end right here, okay? This threaded end has got to be transferred to your carb conversion. You cannot install it like this. A couple of owners have tried that and it hasn't worked. And I'll show you why here. The bracket that holds the throttle cable is threaded, okay? So this threaded end threads into the bracket like that, just like the bracket that came off the K-Jet throttle spool. And then you just run your inner cable through that. You've got a return spring, goes on the outside of the cable. I'm having to use clevis ends now. I can't get my plastic throttle ball ends I've used for many years. I've got a cable stop that goes on the end of the cable. Then there's a shoulder bolt that holds the clevis to the throttle assembly. I don't recommend only finger tightening that. It's a 1/8 hex on the end of it, so I recommend locking it with a 1/8 hex. So that's what your throttle cable should look like. And then, open and close it with the accelerator pedal. Now, if you omit this threaded fitting, and try to install this without this threaded fitting, and just run it through like this, this won't work. Okay? Because what will happen is when you go to pull the cable, this thing's going to be all sliding around, okay? It won't hold the sheath still and allow your accelerator pedal to do all the work. So you cannot install it like this, okay? You've got to have this threaded fitting. And in her case, she'll have two. She'll have the throttle cable and then the shift point cable. So this threaded fitting here has got to be transferred over from your old K-Jet. Okay, here's her carb conversion. here's that threaded fitting that I was telling you about. This is a throttle cable. My car's a 5-speed, so I don't have a shift point cable, so I just have a threaded dowel holding up the clevis. But she'd have a second threaded fitting down here and a second cable. This goes to the governor inside the transmission. And then don't forget to transfer over the full throttle kick down micro switch. This also gets transferred from your K-Jet. And the mounting slots for these two hold down bolts are slotted, okay? So you can adjust this back and forth, so that way when you open the throttle plates all the way, it'll trip the micro switch. And then this here, that solenoid can get wired into your AC compressor if you want, so that way whenever the AC compressor is engaged, it'll kick out and press on the throttle linkage and bump up your idle speed slightly.